Let me start off by thanking Barry. Barry and I have we've kind of been partners for a long time. In fact, we were partners for 32 years, uh, and so the firm still goes on, even though I'm not with the firm any longer. But that's where I pretty much got started, and so thanks, Barry, and thanks for being a part of this campaign. Give it up to my good friend and former law partner, Barry Barnes. Look, let me just make these comments. This race is just too close to call, so. But let me start off by acknowledging, and this is a great night for the city of Houston, a great night for the city of Houston. Yeah. It's been a journey for us to get to where we are tonight. There are so many people in this room to thank. Ed, I can't thank you enough, for what you have done. Ed Wolf has just been outstanding, giving leadership to the campaign. Thank you, Ed. But I don't want to go too much further without thanking 16 members of City Council that have stood with me from the time I came in as mayor. This has been pretty much a 22-month journey, and it's been a team effort. At every step of the way, it's been a team effort. It was a team effort to get it to City Council, and then after City Council, for individuals to continue to work to advance it. So I want to thank all 16 members of City Council and those who are here tonight representing City Council. Councilmember Dwight Boykin from District D. Councilmember Carla Cisneros from District H. Councilmember Jack Christie at large. And all of the other members. Yeah, please give it up to all of the council members. Thank you so very much. These council members have stood tall in the gap. I want to thank them. Not only were they being supportive around the horseshoe at City Hall, but they have been out in the fields. They've been talking to organizations. They've been talking to individuals. They've been on radio programs. They've been on television programs. They've been in their communities. They've taken heat in some of their districts, even when people were criticized. And I have to, let me just specifically, like Councilmember Martin in District E, stood tall representing this proposal at various town hall meetings. So I want to thank all of the members of City Council for their support and standing firm. And then, of course, I want to thank in the legislative process. I want to thank Senator John Huffman. Where's Senator John? Thank you, Senator Huffman. Thank you. Carried the bill on the Senate side. It was not easy. She and I was talking a little bit earlier today that there were many people out there who probably didn't want a bill at all. And so to navigate a pension reform bill through the legislative process is not an easy task. And it's not like you gain a whole lot of friends. Sometimes you lose some that you had before you started. So Senator John Huffman, let me thank you for just taking the ball and running with it all the way to the end. Thank you. The city of Houston is very much indebted to your leadership. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And look, I started off at the beginning as mayor of the city of Houston talking with the employee groups, police, municipal workers, and fire. I want to thank police officers and municipal workers for staying in the gap, being at the table all the way to the very end. I want to thank them. Ray Hunt with the Police Officers Association. Ray spent a lot of time in Austin, Texas, walking the halls. I know he spent a lot of sleepless nights over the last several months, but I want to thank the police officers for just being firm and being strong. I cannot thank you enough, and the city of Houston owes a great deal of gratitude to the 5,100 police officers who are active, as well as to the thousands of police officers who have retired, because a part of the benefits from this pension reform challenges, that $1.1 billion of it comes from police officers agreeing to reduce their future retirement benefits in order to make it happen. Thank you. Give it up to the police officers. Ray, thank you so very, very much. Melvin Hughes. Where's Melvin Hughes? Melvin? He just left? All right, well, let me just say to the municipal employees, I want to thank them, because of Melvin Hughes and Hope. They were also up in Austin almost every single day, walking the halls in their shirts, and they really sacrificed in order to help this deal come through. And so to the municipal employees, I certainly want to acknowledge them and thank them. Give it up to the municipal employees. Very much appreciated. And as you can imagine, let me just tell you, this was a bill that was crafted, and literally it took well over 15 months to get it crafted. Started off from scratch, so to speak. And there were several people who were the architects and the designers of this bill. And I wanted to thank them, because tonight is a plus for them, because they sacrificed their time. I can remember right around this time last year, the holidays were spent at City Hall, and so I want to thank the finance director during this time, Kelly Dow. Kelly, thank you so very, very much. Appreciate it. We spent a lot of time together. And Ron Lewis, the city attorney, thank you so very much. The Chief Justice. That's the Chief Justice of the City of City Hall. Thank you, Ron. These two individuals really work very closely with all of the three employee groups, along with the business community and other outside groups. So Kelly, thank you so very much. Ron, thank you so very much. Appreciate you. And then to my entire finance team, Melissa and all of those affiliated to the finance team, thank you so very, very much. And then lastly, and I know I'm taking some time, but let me tell you, after 17 years dealing with the pension crisis, there are just some thank yous. Kelly, Bill Kelly, and the government affairs team. Let me thank you all. Because you all made sure that people like Senator Huffman and Chairman Flynn and the legislative delegation, both on the state and the Senate side, were kept in the loop. And so I want to thank Bill. I want to thank your entire team for really being masterful in navigating the whole pension challenges. Thank you so very, very much. And then let me just say, you know, when we started this and we knew we were going to have to go to a vote, I couldn't think of another person who I would rather put put this pension reform measure in the hands of, other than Grant Martin. And so let me just say, in the 20 years that Grant been operating as a consultant in this city, Grant has not lost a single race yet, and Grant and tonight your record is still unblemished. Thank you, Grant Martin. Thank you for the entire campaign staff. Really appreciate you and your support and love and commitment to the city. And along with that are many of those who knocked on doors, many of the campaign workers, many that have been out there. To all of the campaign workers on this effort, just raise your hand, because I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank all of you. I cannot say enough for you all being out there, knocking on those doors, spreading the message, and the results speak for themselves tonight. So thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. And of course, let me just say, this effort has not been easy. Okay? getting to where we are tonight, and I don't want us to lose the moment, it has not been easy. To try to come up with pension reforms that would be long-lasting, permanent, not short-term, not easy. And then even after we got past working out agreements with the employee groups, we thought we had all three. We didn't end up having all three. Of course, City Council, we had to explain it. City Council members supported it. You go to the legislature, we still had to navigate through the process. Then it came time to have to put the pension obligation bonds out for a vote. And then we hosted Hurricane Harvey right at the end of August. And with so many people being impacted by Hurricane Harvey, nobody wanted to talk about pension obligation bonds or pension system. And so it hurt our financing, our ability to raise money. That pretty much came to a halt because there was not very much we could do. Pat, even though you are outstanding and exceptional, we simply could not compete with Hurricane Harvey. But you found a way to raise us the money that we needed. So I want to thank you, Pat Strong, for just doing what you do, and you do it extremely well. For all of you in this room who contributed, who gave money even after you've given money to the relief fund. There are people in this room who have given over and over and over again, calls and calls, over and over. Neil, for example. Neil Thomas, this is an individual who I tell you, from my Fulbright and Jaworski days, giving of time, giving of money. I mean, I can't say thank you enough. But there are people like Neil in this room who have just gone over and above, time and time again. And so even after faced with Hurricane Harvey, we regrouped and we went back to give the message out. And tonight, David, as you and I talked at the very beginning, tonight is not a victory for Sylvester Turner. Tonight is not a victory for the members of City Council. Tonight is not just a victory for employees, okay? Tonight is a victory for the city of Houston, and a city that retains and continues to be a can-do city that can do anything that it puts its mind to. That's who won tonight. That is literally who won tonight. And you know what's gratifying to me? What's gratifying for me is when this city, every time this city is challenged, irrespective of the magnitude of the challenge, every time the city of Houston is challenged, the people of this city just take it to another level. And so Hurricane Harvey came, and thousands of homes were flooded. Thousands of individuals are just trying to get their lives back together again. And yet here come the Astros on the scene. They carry the city on its backs. They rise to another level. And they just don't go halfway. They went all the way. And here comes this World Series. And then on Friday, for those who were downtown at the parade, it wasn't just any parade. It was the parade of all times in the city of Houston. Just an incredible showing of support. And now, on this day, tonight, pension challenges that have been around for 17 years, an unfunded liability of $8.2 billion, costing the city of Houston $1 million a day. We've never been as close as we have been on this time around. And yet employees, the business community, elected officials, independents, Democrats, Republicans, people from West Houston to Kingwood to Fifth Ward to Acres Home to Denver Harbor to Second Ward, all came together not for an individual moment, but for a Houston moment, and for that we should all be extremely proud, and I cannot say thank you enough. Lastly, and I'm done. Lastly, it doesn't mean that all of our financial problems are solved. Okay, let me just, it doesn't mean that. But it does mean that our outlook is much better. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have to, we won't be making tough decisions, Councilmember Cisneros, in January, February, and March. But it does mean that the load won't be as heavy. We'll still have to make tough decisions. It's still not going to be easy. But we are in a much better position. And when other cities, major cities across the country, are still facing pension challenges and still trying to come up with their solution, the fourth largest city, soon to be the third, this city has said, we're not going to put things off down the road. We're going to deal with it right now, and we're going to deal with it in a collective sense, and we're going to do it without having to raise your taxes or without the city having to infuse a great deal of cash. And tonight, in the legislature, they voted it out by a 2/3 margin. But tonight, the people of the city of Houston, if these numbers hold, end up voting it out by a 3/4 of a margin, and that speaks well for the city of Houston. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. Love everybody. Thank you.